And welcome back to Hero Power. This is episode 54, and we are super excited. We've got a very special guest joining us today. Gentlemen,
Thank you. I'm here every week, but you're not talking about me?
Yeah. No, we've got Spivey from 1600 Dust.
Yep, that's the one. Hey guys.
We've been trying to get you on the show for a while, sir, so we are really excited to finally have you.
Well, we barely did it, right? We had to roll it back 15 minutes.
It's all right. Life happens. So, all right, guys, as always, I am your host, Avantes, and I am joined by my co-hosts, Zeroshio.
What is up, gang?
And Versika.
Happy, yeah.
Happy, yeah?
Yeah.
We're not getting into that.
You can't say happy post BlizzCon because everybody's like, damn it, BlizzCon's over. Now I got to wait another year.
Yeah, I know. I had something and train derailed out of the station. Like, I guess I probably shouldn't say that today either. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. It's...
It's a no-win day.
It's a no-win day. Yeah,
no win Wednesday.
No win Wednesday.
Oh, all right.
Except for us. We're on Wednesday.
We are on Wednesday, and if you guys are here...
You can win with us. Win with us tonight.
There you go.
And,
all right.
And we win because we have a special guest this week, Spivey from 1600 Dust.
Man, it's like deja vu all over again.
I'm just getting us back on track because I don't want to derail.
All right. Well, before we jump in, because we have a lot to talk about tonight and a lot to talk to Spivey about, before we get into that, Versika, tell us a little bit about our sponsors at Viforce.
Yeah, it's funny that you talk about people talking to people about things. We didn't get a chance to pre-show this, but that's exactly what I was going to talk about tonight. The question that I get asked the most, now that people know that I'm on the show and we talk about the show, is people wanting to get into streaming and vidcasting. And they ask me, well, what's the first thing that I really need to do? Well, the first thing that you need to do is you need to get a machine capable of playing the game that you want to stream and then pushing it out to the stream. Also powerful enough to edit it if you want to do it if you want to post it to YouTube. And so where do you go to get that information? Well, you go to viforcegaming.com. You go to viforcegaming.com, you hit the contact us page, and you send the guys and gals at viforcegaming.com. You send them what you want to do. Ask them what you need to do it. They're going to get back with you. They're going to get with you. They're going to help you find the machine that fits what you need. They're going to set you up with it. Remember, they got 6 months. Same as cash financing. There's no reason not to get in touch with them. Christmas is just around the corner. Drop that note to your wife. She's going to leave the diamond catalog on the counter for you. You leave the Viforce site on her nightstand next to her.
That's right.
Like the whole site just on her nightstand? That's
No. Just like a little piece of paper. Just a little piece of paper. It's all that matters. It'll drive her nuts. Rip it. Make sure the edges are ripped.
Oh,
just
Lord.
make sure that she sees it because she'll
Yeah. All right, guys. We do have an email this week from our friend and chat room regular, Mr. Nasty. He says, so this is a problem I've been having, and I'm sure I'm not alone. When I play ranked, once I get to rank 15, I begin to get scared to continue to climb for a higher rank. Call it anxiety, if you will. One way I've gotten over it was to realize all I'm gaining is a small amount of dust when I reach the next rank. If I drop, I still get the same chest as my max level. But is there any other way to help with the anxiety from climbing ladder? What are some things you guys have kept in mind while climbing? So, Zeroshio, why don't you start us off here?
It gets tough, and we've talked about this before, where you hit walls and you have to find a way to either maybe take some time playing arena, take a break, know when to adjust your deck, know when to just go get you a sandwich and wait for those decks that are countering yours to get a little further. And the one season I was able to make Legend, it was really tough. I kept hitting walls at 15, at 10, at 5, at 3, and then back down at 9 again. The walls happen. It's part of the game. To make a good climb, whether your goal is Legend or rank 5 or even rank 10, it still takes a number of games. And burnout really happens. the best thing you can do, you can go to sites like Vicious Syndicate or Tempo Storm and find out what the meta is, and then make a choice whether you want to counter that meta or actually go with the meta if you think you can pilot that type of deck, and just push through it. That's really the best thing to do. And if you're getting towards the end of the month and you're satisfied with getting what rank you are, maybe 10 or 5, then just be happy with what you've accomplished that month.
All right, cool. Versika?
It's an interesting question, and it's something that I think we've tried to discuss before. When I push, I have a strict rule that I don't lose more than 4 in a row, and if I lose more than 4 in a row, then I just go ahead and assume that I'm on tilt in some way, and I just get up and walk away for a little bit. But the other thing that I do is when I start finding that I'm losing as often as I'm winning, I will go to one of my comfort decks, and I have 4 decks that stay in the first 4 slots of my collection, and those 4 decks are the decks that I'm the most comfortable with. So if I'm like, let's say that I'm playing a meta deck, and I find myself hitting that wall, I'll go back to one of those 4 comfort decks because I know them inside and out. I know when to play what, and what to play, what they match up well against. So I'll go back to those to kind of get my confidence back and to kind of gain a little bit momentum before I switch back to the deck that I'm trying to rank up with. Okay. But more than anything, I set that. It's kind of like going into a casino and you say, here's my $50. This is all I'm going to spend tonight is this $50, no matter what I win. And then once you spend that 50, you're out. I have those 4 losses. I go in. Once I hit those 4 losses in a row, I'm out. So that's how I keep from the ladder tumble.
Nice. Spivey, you got anything you want to add?
Yeah, whenever I hit my wall, I think my wall is usually a little bit lower, like when we lose the win streaks. But I find that when I hit that, I just constantly have to remind myself that it's just a game and that I'm playing this game. Rank doesn't mean anything for all intents and purposes. I mean, if you want to hit legend, you want to get at that 100. But for someone like me, I've never hit legend. So for someone like me, it just becomes about, well, I just want to play. I just want to play. Maybe if I feel like I can push, if I am playing the best deck in the format at the time, and I feel like I can make that push for legend, I'll try to grind it. Like you guys were mentioning, skipping around to other formats. But I just try to remember it's a game I love, and there's no reason to get anxious about it. If I'm not having fun, I'm changing games.
Okay, cool. There you go, Mr. Nasty. There's your advice for no anxiety on the ladder. Just remember it's a game. Go have fun. Set yourself a limit. Just go out and enjoy it. That's what Hearthstone is. We all enjoy it. So, All right. Well, let's jump right into this. So, Spivey, super stoked to have you here. But not only that, you are a fellow podcaster. Tell us a little bit about your show.
I am. So I'm the co-host of 1600 Dust, along with CM Plummer, and what we refer to as our tertiary host, Matuna. And you can find those guys on Twitter. That's Chris and Matt. But we host a 20-minute podcast. We strictly adhere to our 20-minute length, and we kind of just go over whatever comes to our mind every week. It usually starts with where we're on the ladder, what we're playing, if there's anything cool we came across. And we have various topics sprinkled throughout. We love having different community members on, so we try to alternate every week with a week with Matt and then a week with a guest. And the only reason we don't have 4 of us on is the time limit gets real tight.
There you go. All right, cool.
Time limit, what's that? No, seriously.
I was going to say, once we hit 20 minutes, I mean, what else do I say here? Do I just stop talking?
I like the format of doing the 20 minutes. That's just enough time for me to listen to you guys on my way to work, on my drive to work every morning. So
we hear that a lot, and we appreciate it. We hear that it's a great commute podcast, and it comes out Monday mornings. It's ready for you Monday morning. Comes out Sunday nights. So
Awesome.
Yeah, I love listening to you guys' show. I will say, while I love the format and I love that you guys stick to it, I always want more when you guys are done. But I think that's just my style of podcasting. When I really like a podcast group, I'd be like, oh, give me another half hour. And I think that just says good things about what you guys are doing. That when I'm done listening, I want you to talk more, and I can't wait till next week.
Oh, you're like the first person to ever tell me that you want me to keep talking.
Hey, you know what? Nobody tells me to keep talking, so I totally understand.
Yeah. But also, you were boots on the ground at Blizzcon this past weekend. So,
I was.
why don't you give us a little overview of your weekend at Blizzcon?
Okay, this was my
first
BlizzCon.
Disclaimer: the daytime overview.
Anything that happened after dark or in the hotel room,
That's
we don't
okay.
need to know about.
No discussing shower beers.
Yeah,
No.
Just that it happened and that it's a thing, so that we can all strive to achieve shower
beers. Oh,
Hey, there's always room in the shower with me if you want to have a shower beer. So this was my very, very first BlizzCon, and Chris and I had decided that, because Chris and Matt go to PAX every year, and I'm like, when we have the show, we have to go to BlizzCon. There are too many people to meet, there are too many things to see, and it's like you guys said, it was boots on the ground. From the start, just from walking up to the Anaheim Convention Center and seeing the giant Blizzard posters for each of their games and seeing the BlizzCon poster and when I walked in, I was speechless, and I'm not speechless very often. It was stunning. There were just the production value. I mean, I come from a Magic the Gathering background where, I've been to Grand Prix before and other opens. And just the sheer scale and production value blew me away with the statues and the lighting and the way everything was set up. And I expected it to be really jam-packed with people, like Disneyland style, where you're almost like hitting people every so often as you're walking. It's such a spacious venue that I never felt claustrophobic during it. Being able, so the first night, we did the opening ceremony, and we caught the announcement of the Mean Streets of Gadget Zan. It kind of hit me just before it started that I'm sitting here. I get the privilege to watch Blizzard unveil this in person for the first time. I mean, I know that, you can see it streaming on the internet and everything else, but there was just some sort of electricity being able to do it that way. It was wonderful. The watching the Hearthstone Championship tournament live in person was also electric.
that's cool.
That was one of my favorite parts.
How was the stage? I mean, you see it from the stream, but what was it like being there at the inn?
So the HCT stage, it was, I don't know. I mean, there were parts of you, because Blizzard does such a great job getting all of the video feeds. We saw their control center and everything else, but that's a whole nother subject. But they do such an amazing job capturing the HCT that you almost have to remind yourself that you're there, if that makes sense. Like, you have to kind of just like look to the side and you see one of the players sitting there in the box, and you're just like, yeah, I'm actually here. I'm actually watching that.
Cool.
It's surreal. I highly recommend it to anybody who is a fan of any Blizzard game. If that Blizzard game participates in esports with Blizzard, you need to be there. It's something else. If you're a fan of a player, you should definitely check it out. I got more bang for my buck than anything I've ever done.
Cool. I'm hoping we can go next year. That's just awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You'd better.
glad you had a good time, and like I said, I've watched BlizzCon online every year. I've bought the virtual ticket every year since they've offered it, I guess going back to like 2008. But it's I'm sure it's just like any other convention. It's a whole nother animal to be there live and in person and hanging out with like 100,000 of your closest friends.
Yeah. Watching,
We definitely felt a little left out.
I alluded to it when you're watching. When I was watching the finals, and you're watching, you guys saw some of the RNG that happened in the game and some of the plays that happened in the game for the semifinals and the finals. When you're there and the crowd erupts, it was more passionate than pro football games I've been to.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It just, the whole room, I mean, erupted does not even describe what happened. It was out of this world. It was the only way to watch the game. I'm spoiled now. I'm ruined.
That's cool. Now,
I'm damaged goods.
speaking of the World Championship, did you have any favorites going into that top 8? Did you have anybody you really wanted to see succeed?
I did. I actually picked a champion that made it to the top 8. I was on Team Amnesiac.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Young Savage.
Mm-hmm. And I missed his quarterfinals match.
Oh, wow.
And I instantly, as soon as I got back to my house, I checked it out on Wi-Fi. We rented a house for the trip. I got back to the house, and I looked it up, and I'm watching the replay, and I'm watching him go 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, and I'm like, all right, I get to watch Amnesiac tomorrow. And then I just saw it backslide as he got reverse swept. It was pretty heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I'm still Team Amnesiac all the way.
Nice. So yeah, let's talk about the World Championship a little bit. So we went in, last week we talked about the top 16 filtering down, and this past weekend we actually got to see the top 8 battle it out, and we crowned a new world champion, second European world champion, and it was Pavel. So, Spivey touched on it just a little bit, the RNG that happened this weekend. Zeroshio, do you want to expand on that a little bit?
Well, first off, I want to say that all the players in the top 8 did a phenomenal job. They all just played clutch, flawless Hearthstone. This is probably the best BlizzCon championship since they've started. Since the very first one, the official one with Firebat, I really think this is the best. And you had the best competition, the best decks. Pavel actually came back 2 separate occasions and had to reverse sweep to win his match. He never broke a sweat. Versika alluded to it on the show last week that he was always in composure, even though to me, I see him run his hands through his hair and he looks like he's freaking out. But that seems to be what he has to do to stay focused, and he just took it. And I just can't say enough about the plays that happened. Now, the first match we saw was the 2 Chinese players. You had Jason Show versus my favorite going into the top 8, Hamster. And I was hoping Hamster would pull it out, but he kind of fell to the wayside. Anybody have any thoughts on that matchup?
Versika, do you have anything?
On the Hamster matchup?
Yeah.
I think that Hamster caught everybody by surprise when he brought Priest and Paladin. I don't think players were ready for it. I don't think they had played practice games against it quite to the degree that they had played the other matchups. So I think that surprise factor gave him an advantage. But I think that advantage was gone once he didn't change that lineup when they resubmitted the deck. So I think this time going in, after seeing the play from Hamster with Priest and Paladin in particular, I think they were able to better prepare for it. And I think that the weaknesses of those 2 classes in the current meta were exposed pretty readily just by being patient. And good play. Don't get me wrong. It's not that he misplayed. I don't think anybody really misplayed that I saw. I didn't see any gross misplays. I just think that the 2 weaker decks that Hamster brought ended up being his Achilles heel. I think especially the Priest really ended up hurting him.
Yeah. Spivey, did you get to see any of the top 8 matches live?
That was the one I did not see. I missed one of BlizzCon for the live HCT stuff.
Cool.
I was able to catch the semis between Chansu and Pop.
Chansu and Dr. Hippie.
Or I'm sorry, Dr. Hippie. Yes, Dr. Hippie. Yes, please.
Hair.
That's the one.
The boy with the hair on fire. All right. Cool.
No kidding.
Cool. Well, let's talk about the quarterfinal match between Amnesiac and Pavel, because I think, I had said last week I felt like this was going to be the match to watch among all of them, and obviously
you were right.
Yeah, I mean it went
soul crushing.
It went the full length 7 games, and it was everything we could have hoped for in a Hearthstone Championship match.
And not only did it go the full length 7 games, Amnesiac had a 3-0 lead and got reverse swept. Now, a lot of people say, what did Amnesiac do wrong? He did nothing wrong. Pavel knew that Druid deck in and out. He'd had the most success, and he'd also reverse swept someone else, also against Druid. So he obviously knows how to play against that Malygos Druid, which, if you look at the lineup, everybody except for one player brought Malygos Druid, and that was Hamster, who brought a token Druid.
Yeah.
So if you know Malygos Druid well, and seven of the 8 competitors are bringing Malygos Druid, then odds are you're going to win.
Yeah, yeah.
Target it.
There you go. Yeah, because you actually picked Pavel to go all the way, didn't you, Rasika?
I did.
Yeah. So.
Wow. Well done.
Congratulations. So then we had Cheonsu and Sidonia, and that match went 5 games. The only win Sidonia had was the very first match with a mirror matchup with Warrior versus Warrior, and then Cheonsu just kind of ran the table on him after that to win out 4-1. And then you had Dr. Hippie versus Hot Meowth, and this was another matchup that, I'm going to be honest, I thought was going to be a little more even. And Dr. Hippie came out of the gate, showed he was there to win it all, and 4-0'd Hot Meowth.
Now, I want to talk on this matchup just a brief bit. I did say earlier nobody made any real misplays, and I stand by that. In the games that were played with the decks that were played, there were no apparent misplays. However, Hot Meowth changed his lineup to a Blood Warrior deck, and it didn't do well against Dr. Hippie. Now, instead of changing his deck up, he played all 4 games with that Blood Warrior deck, and Dr. Hippie just demolished it. So while I don't think he made any misplays in the game, I think he made a grave error in choosing to open up with that deck and not switching halfway through the series.
Max in chat says Hot Meowth made a grave error by getting a haircut before BlizzCon.
Yeah, he should have kept with the goth motif. It worked for him.
Well, yeah, Matt at Arms in chat said that he still liked the Warrior deck. He just played it so badly. I don't know that he necessarily played it badly. I think he was too in his head with it. Going in, I think he was probably the most nervous playing that deck, and I think that he overthought what could be in Dr. Hippie's hand and didn't make the best play. I think he kept too much back until it was too late. In every game, it seemed like he got behind because he was waiting for something to happen that just never happened.
Yeah.
And I don't know that you'd call that misplay. I think he was just overthinking.
Yeah, I am JJ in chat says the biggest misplay was Hot Meowth bringing the Warrior deck to begin with. So, maybe he should have stuck with the one he had.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on that lineup, Spivey?
No, I think you're right about the deck selection, and the one thing for me is I really wanted an NA player in the semifinals, real bad. I wanted any one of them. Dr. Hippie just crushed.
Yeah, he really did. All right.
He did.
So that brings us to our semifinals matches, which were Jason Zhao versus Pavel. And that game actually went 6 with Jason taking the first game, Warlock over Rogue, and then Pavel taking game 2, Druid over Warrior, and then Jason coming back and taking game 3, Druid over Mage, and then Pavel just kind of turned on the jets and won out with Mage, Rogue, Warrior in that order, and Jason just couldn't stop him after that. So, that was really, I think, where I almost feel like Pavel kind of felt like he might have a shot at that point, knew it, and just went after it.
He looked supremely confident this series. Now, this was a very good series and was very competitive. And I think the games he lost, he understood why he lost, and the matchups, he was just very confident going into this. And there is no amount of praise that can be given for Jason Zhao. He is the best player out of the China region. He played exceptionally well. I believe he got a little overshadowed with other players out of China like Omega Zero, but I really think he is the cream of the crop out of that region, and I just think that region's getting stronger and stronger. They didn't have a good showing last year, and this year they did really well. I think they did better than Asia Pacific.
All right, our other semifinal match was Chiansu versus Dr. Hippie, and again, this one actually almost went exactly the same way as the Pavel match did. Chiansu won game 1, Dr. Hippie won game 2, Chiansu won game 3, and then Dr. Hippie won out the rest of the matches. So he had to, like, in that same position as Pavel, had to be feeling pretty confident at that point, which set up the Pavel Dr. Hippie match. Now, not everybody knows, but Pavel and Dr. Hippie have a little bit of history leading into this. Versika, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, Pavel was it was kind of known for misplay, a really bad misplay that came in a match with Dr. Hippie, and it was kind of his claim for fame for a while. And so, part of the drama, or the fear, one of the reasons why people didn't pick Pavel to begin with was there was the thought that if he went up against Dr. Hippie, could he handle the extra pressure of, I can't misplay against him. I've already misplayed against him in front of the entire world on a international stage. I can't do that again. And so when I saw that this was the finals, and I kind of figured that it would be the finals once Pavel got past Amnesiac, that was a thought that went through my head too, was could he handle the pressure, especially if he went down against Dr. Hippie, or worst case scenario, if he made a misplay against Dr. Hippie. Dr. Hippie is a sound player. He's methodical, and he punishes you for your misplays. And I mean, you see people when they misplay Dr. Hippie, he punishes them for it. It gets in their head, and it's just brutal. You just see the brutal mental beatdown that they give themselves. I think it would have been much worse for Pavel had that happened again. So I think, at least from a layman's perspective, it made the finals that much more interesting to watch because there was that added bit of history and drama. Yeah.
So this match went game 1 to Dr. Hippie.
And I'm sorry, it was Life Coach that he had the misplay against.
Oh, okay.
But I was under the impression
that
watching it.
That was, I believe, the same series that Dr. Hippie won. That went to the made the top 8 in that, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so. I know that they had a match where Pavel misplayed, but the one that I was thinking of that was so international was
the Sylvanas play against Life Coach.
Was against Life Coach. But they played against each other in one of the European tournaments.
They have, and pretty much it's always been kind of that Pavel was just under Dr. Hippie. Nobody ever, if Dr. Hippie was in a tournament, then Pavel didn't have a chance, and everybody kind of overlooked Pavel whenever Dr. Hippie was in any tournament with him, and they've kind of been that rivalry. And Pavel's a bit younger, a little less experienced, and I think his nerves have gotten the better of him in the past. And Dr. Hippie has zero nerves. The man is made of steel. You never see him sweat. You never see him, even when he was getting in the finals and losing, he still was just iron. The guy has no emotion in his face. The banter with him and TJ, yeah, he's very stoic. Very stoic. That's a perfect word. Do you have any opinions on that Pavel, Dr. Hippie finals?
From actually being there?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just what I already talked about. It was beyond anything to watch it happen right in front of you, have them come out, and I mean, everybody was on the edge of their seats every single time that the commentators were coming on, which they did a fantastic job themselves. And anytime the commentators were kind of illustrating how any plays could go, so even if you're not familiar with the game, you kind of know what's on the line. And the cards just, the RNG happened, like the Ragnaros happened just the way it needed to happen, and just having the entire venue erupt that's watching, and then just watching him come out and get announced and hold up the trophy, and the confetti going off, and I'm pretty sure my girlfriend took some of the confetti off of the ground, so that's floating around.
Collectible
She said
confetti.
she did. She said she did.
Oh.
So actually, you bring up a really great point. I know the casters have caught some heat from time to time, but I do think that for this particular event especially, they were right on the money. I feel like they did a great job, and there were some really fast plays, and it is hard to cast when they're playing fast. And if you doubt me, they did a contest, the So You Think You Can Cast. And I had no intentions of submitting it, but I did try it just to see. It's a lot harder than you think it is, especially when you're long-winded. But as fast as some of those plays were coming, and to get the analysis off and to just be so right and so on point as often as they were at the speed that these plays were happening, it was a really great job. I thought they did tremendous.
Yeah, I can attest to that. Chris and I did a little bit of shoutcasting for Vicious Syndicate very early on in our podcasting, and it wasn't for us. I think we did it twice, and we decided that it was better suited to someone more talented than us.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things that takes a lot of practice. So,
and it was mentioned in chat, Firebat did an awesome job. I was actually very surprised at how articulate and animated he was as a caster, because I've seen his stream. He's very, very fun to watch, but he's always extremely logical and analytical. There's not so much entertainment in it, and he kind of fits that role of a play-by-play caster while you have a color commentator next to him like that's Admirable or a TJ. I think that Firebat has a great career in casting if he decides to keep it up.
Yeah, absolutely. I do want to throw a shout out to Kindfish in chat. Thank you for the follow, guys. If you haven't done so, follow us on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/ECMMO Gamers. All right, let's move on to the other big news that came out of BlizzCon. I know, right? World Championships. What else could there be to talk about? Well, a couple weeks ago on the show, we had been doing a little internet sleuthing for you guys, doing a little digging, and we had come across some information, and we had kind of, from piecing together that information, we had kind of pieced together Zeroshio's guess at the gangs of Gadget Zan.
Called it.
He was pretty close. On Friday of BlizzCon, they announced the mean streets of Gadget Zan, and so let's just talk about it a little bit. We're not going to talk about any of the cards right now. We're gonna We're gonna save the individual cards for later. Let's just talk a little bit overview, what we've seen, new mechanics. So, Spivey, let's start with you. What are your thoughts on the new set? Did you actually get any hands-on time with it in the demo room?
I have played the Mean Streets of Gadget Zan, and
do tell.
I love me some MSG. So
Wait.
my favorite part.
I like it.
Chris and I talk about this a little bit on this week's show, but our favorite part is kind of the factions that they've grouped the classes into. So do you want me to go over that?
Sure.
Yes, please go ahead.
Sure.
Okay. I don't know how much detail you want me to go into. So they have 3 factions. It's the Grimy Goons, the Cabal, and the dumb one that I always constantly forget. It's what's that one
Lotus?
called? Lotus.
Yeah. Jade Lotus.
Jade Lotus. That's it.
So, and what they did was they grouped the classes into this. So, for instance, the Grimy Goons include Warrior, Paladin, and Hunter. And then the Cabal have Mage, Priest, and Warlock. And then the Jade Lotus has Druid, Rogue, and for some reason, unbeknownst to me, Shaman. I feel like they just couldn't fit Shaman anywhere, so they put him in there. We really... I'm a big fan of, which faction are you? Which faction do you identify with? And maybe it kind of brings a little bit more camaraderie to this. Other card games have done that with their guilds, their wedges and whatnot. And I'm really excited to see, walk up to somebody and have them. I mean, we had that whole explosive thing with Pokemon Go, right? Team Valor and Team Instinct.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want to see that come to Hearthstone, and I'm really excited about that. And that's like mechanics aside of what it actually does and what it actually means. Just being able to say, I'm with the Cabal. That's awesome to me. That's what
Cabal for life.
Yeah.
It might actually make Priest playable.
Yes.
Oh my
I'm happy
gosh.
with Priest so far, but we'll have to save that for another time.
So,
Priest just looks ridiculously strong.
has everybody had a chance to talk to the barkeep and
Talon.
talk to Talon and got placed in a group?
I didn't do that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
it was late last night he sent it out.
Yeah, so he invites everybody to come back to the end. You talk to him. He asks you a series of questions and then places you in an organization. So I went through and answered all the questions. I'm a grimy goon. Proud
Let
to
me put
say,
on my surprise face.
proud to say, I'm a grimy goon. Zeroshio.
They put me in Cabal, which I think it works out for me.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So Versika, you had a chance to do it yet?
Oh, come on. Is there any question which one I fell in?
I'm gonna guess Jade Lotus, but
There you go.
just because I know you. So
You remember in Sorcerer's Stone when they were doing the placing hats and
The sorting
Draco
hat.
Malfoy went up and it didn't even touch his head and it said Slytherin. Well,
That was
didn't
you.
even get the first, he didn't even get the first question. Now he's like Jade Lotus. Sit down.
Well, I'm gonna be like Harry Potter because I'm terrified it's gonna put me in something other than the Cabal.
That's right.
Yeah. So if you haven't done it yet, check it out. It's pretty awesome. That's the Talon. It's the automated chat bot with the Hearthstone Facebook account.
I don't know why this surprises me, but I am surprised that all the 3 of us, hosts of Hero Power, were put in different
I'm not.
gangs. And I don't know why
Really?
that's surprising
Are you
me
really
because
surprised?
I don't think I really am surprised. It's just uncanny how accurate that is. And if
Awesome.
for those that haven't, if this is the first time watching or listening to our podcast, the 3 of us have separate views on everything. And the only thing we agree on is disagreeing.
We all agree we enjoy Hearthstone. There's that.
Yeah. Well,
It's
sometimes
surprisingly
from
enough.
Versika.
Well, yeah, it just depends on the week's tavern brawl whether or not Versika
That's
enjoys it. So, all right. So we talked about the
We agree that we
the
like
factions.
Spivey.
Yeah, we all love Spivey.
No,
We agree that we like. Come on. We agree that we
You
like
guys are
cat.
gonna make me blush.
I mean, let's go.
So
Come on.
So we've talked about the factions. One of the cool features with the factions is we're getting tri-class cards that are available to the classes in that faction. And one of the cool things is most of those have discover mechanics. Discover a card from one of your faction's classes. Now, personally, I think this is amazing. There are some people out there who are like, but wait a minute, that means Rogue can get Doomhammer. Oh God, what are we going to do? I mean, Rogues
That's
with
very
Doomhammers, it could just be mean. You throw a deadly poison on that thing, and now you're just going to town for like, what, 40 points of damage.
Even worse is a druid getting Ethereal Peddler.
Yes.
They're already getting a ton of ramp, and all of a sudden, they reduce all their cards by 2. Because they
Once
changed
again-
the way Ethereal Peddler was worded to all non-rogue cards are reduced by 2 mana in your hand.
Once again, I don't see a problem with this.
I don't. Now, you do have some people that are pointing out that that it loses.
Totally
class.
went over his head. He completely missed it.
Well, my thing is there are some people that don't like blurring the lines of the classes. I think this is great. This is like making multicolor decks in Magic the Gathering. Now, Spivey, I don't know if you've heard us before. We combined between the three of us here have over 60 years of competitive
Magic experience.
Magic the Gathering experience.
I believe it. That's where I came from.
Mhm.
I was actually on the Pro Tour for 2 years and competed at Grand Prix and as well as Pro Tour. So I loved that for Magic the Gathering, that you could kind of mix and match. And I'd like to see more of this in future expansions, maybe different combinations. Maybe you combine all the secret classes into one group, or maybe give every single group of 3 a secret class. But I like it, and I'm excited to see what combinations come out of this.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, I want all the secret classes.
So, we're going to talk about individual cards later. So, we'll get to Kazakus and all the other fun stuff. But
I will be doing a
I've
video.
used him.
all right, well,
Now, they say
you
Kazakus
won't be
is like,
okay.
oh,
So you won't be here when we talk about the cards. So tell us about your interactions with Kazakus.
Okay, I can do Kazakus. Okay,
Yeah.
so Kazakus, I believe, is a 3/3 for 4 mana, right?
Yes.
So he
Yes.
still has the Reno Jackson ability, where if you're playing Singleton or your deck is reduced in such a way that it's Singleton at that point, you get to create your own potion, and it gives you its 3 discover mechanics. The first one is your mana cost, and it's 1, 5, or 10. And then the devs talked about how they purposefully did this so you can play it on turn 4 and curve right out into 5 with your potion. How much mana your spell costs is going to directly be reflected on the power level of the spell. So if you pick 10, it's going to do a lot. My potion I made, which I was playing against Ziggy Sarah, and it was Backbreaker, was I did 10 mana, deal, I want to say it was 8 damage, and summon 3 minions that died on your side this turn. So it took out her biggest guy, brought me 3 of them, and she couldn't come back from that. It's way too much fun. There are so many combinations, and I'm really excited to see how often a 1 mana potion's chosen versus a 10 mana or a 5 mana.
Yeah.
It's great.
I've heard
excellent.
from other people that were there that 5 mana is kind of the sweet spot, but 10 mana is just too much fun.
And they've said that there are over 120 combinations. That's just crazy.
Wow, that sounds lovely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think for me, I played him on turn 8 or something, so I was like, well, survive to 10.
Matt at Arms in chat says Kazakus plus Cho'Gall.
Yeah.
So,
Love it.
all right.
I'm going to be playing a lot of... Fuck.
All right. Let's let's move on because I am really excited about seeing the deck that Spivey brought us this week. But first, this week's Tavern Brawl is called Miniature Warfare. And basically, the pesky Shrinkmaster has turned all of your cards into toys. All your minions are 1/1 and only cost 1 mana. So, I think we've seen this one before, haven't we? Is this
Yes,
a repeat?
the only
January
thing,
of last year.
Okay.
the most important thing to get out of this is it's not Heroic Brawl. That's
What's your sign say back there? Heroic Brawl, question mark?
Heroic Brawl. When are we getting it?
Yeah, I want that.
Soon, TM.
I really want Heroic Brawl. I kind of predicted that it would be after BlizzCon. I expected it to be after BlizzCon. I'm worried that they're going to hold it until after the release of MSG, of Mean Streets of Gadgetstan. And that would just be so sad. I really want to play this so bad. I'm hoping they do it in the next couple weeks.
So here's the thing. If they release it after Mean Streets of Gadgetstan, I'll be able to partake because I'm going to spend all my gold on Mean Streets and then I'll have gold left over for that. I'll be good. So, yeah. But it's a fun brawl. Versika, did you get a chance to do it today?
Oh yeah, but I bucked my normal trend, but still stayed in my clan.
Mm-hmm.
I went rogue, and yeah, I'm 4-0.
Nice.
Oh, fan of
4-1.
knives, so good.
Oh yeah, fan
Oh,
of knives.
yeah.
Fan of knives and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you're doing it wrong if you're not playing Barnes, Rag, Mally, and Alex, and you got to have those 4 in your deck.
Okay.
I went
Now
Priest.
I'm in Blooming Lotus clan.
Yeah, I just Blooming Lotus. I went Priest and just put every big legendary that does cool things in there. I got Alexstrasza in there. I got Nefarian. I got Rag. I even put Major Domo in there. Won me a game. It's actually pretty cool.
Wow.
I tossed out Major Domo, and then I did something to clear the whole board, and then hero powered to win.
Nice. Spivey, you get a chance to play it today?
No, I've been at work all day. I'm really jealous. You guys got to do all this cool stuff before I did.
Oh, well.
I promise I don't play at work.
I played
No.
Mage, and I used the Mage minion that when it comes into play deals 1 damage to all enemy minions. Plus, I ran 2 Arcane Blasts, and I had my hero power to pick them off, and just kind of delayed the game as long as possible until I could go Mirror Image, Malagos, Antinatus, burn.
Wow.
Great, Crow Magus and Arcane Explosion are a nice combo in this week's brawl, too.
Yeah. So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. So go out there, check out the Tavern Brawl, have some fun. I am JJ in chat says Ravaging Ghoul owns this week's brawl. So
True.
if you're a grimy goon, break out the Ravaging Ghouls. So
My favorite thing I've been doing is turn 1, Hogger, Coin, Ragnaros.
Wow.
I usually get a concede right then.
nice. All right. Well, this week's deck is brought to us by Spivey. It is
Yes.
Breath's Secret Hunter deck that he was playing. So if you guys haven't seen this, it's kind of a throwback to, it's a little mix between Face Hunter and Secret. So I'm going to run down the deck list and then we'll let Spivey talk a little bit about it. So
Sure.
the deck is 2 Argent Squires, 1 Fiery Bat, 2 Secret Keepers, 2 Tracking, 2 Cat Trick, 1 Direwolf Alpha, 2 Explosive Trap, 2 Freezing Trap, 2 Kindly Grandmother, 2 Quick Shot, 1 Snake Trap, 2 Argent Horse Rider, 2 Cloaked Huntress, 2 Eaglehorn Bow, 2 Kill Command, 2 Unleash the Hound, and everybody's favorite, Leroy Jenkins.
At least I got chicken.
All right. So, Spivey, tell us a little bit about how the deck plays, what you're looking for as you play it, and just give us the lowdown.
Sure. Now, I want to preface this with this is a list I was running in Team Hearth League for our team's match this week. I did this for a couple of weeks. I haven't jammed nearly as many games with it as I have mid-range Hunter or other versions of Hunter, but once you kind of get the hang of it, it plays real well. It's like you pointed out, a very aggressive version of Secret Hunter with the low to the ground kind of tech. We figured that there would be a lot of mid-range Secret Hunter, and this completely wipes it off the board because you finish them before it matters that they're throwing down Savannah Highmanes or Call of the Wilds. So in your opening hand, you almost always want to look for the aggressive one-drops that you have there. It's really important that you're running 5 of them, with Secret Keeper being one of the tops. I almost never keep tracking. I can't think of a single instance I would, but it just feels like one of those absolute statements, like never keep tracking, that it feels bad to say. Obviously, the interaction between Cloaked Huntress and Eaglehorn Bow and all the secrets in this list play a crucial role. When you wind up getting Cloaked Huntress online, and you want to keep her in your opening hand. If you have coin, Cloaked Huntress and Eaglehorn Bow on turn 2 and turn 3 is typically backbreaking. I usually play out Eaglehorn Bow on 2 with the coin and then Cloaked Huntress. So when you've got Cloaked Huntress online, you don't necessarily want to vomit your hand of secrets onto the board. It does take a degree of thoughtfulness to think about what your opponent's going to be doing next. We all know if a hunter has a beast and it's turn 4, it's likely they're going to play Houndmaster. So maybe you want to mitigate the value they get out of that with a freezing trap on the taunted minion, or maybe you just want to play something else that's going to complement you in that moment. I mean, if you're expecting that the mage is going to try to Frostbolt your Secret Keeper when you play it, on turn 3, Secret Keeper and Catrick is a great play. You take that Frostbolt out of their hand, you've got Catrick ready to come in and do some shadowy damage. And Kindly Grandmother is another great one to keep. And for the most part, this deck allows you just to go face. You want to keep board control if it's going to further your damage over multiple turns. So if running your Fiery Bat into... I'm not even sure what a specific example would be here. You just need to think about, are you doing this so that you can kill your opponent faster, or are you doing this just to keep the board clear? If you're doing it just to keep the board clear, you don't need to be doing it. You need to be sending that damage to the face and allowing your opponent to respond to what you're doing. It's also extremely important to remember that Unleash the Hounds is a potent burn spell, not just a very, very good board control spell. A lot of people spend too many hounds on clearing the board when they should just be throwing it to the face. If you're getting 5 hounds, that's 3 damage to the face if there's no taunt. And then obviously, At Least I Have Chicken closes the game out.
Nice. Well, I am excited. I love these tops decks. Versika is our traditional non-hunter
fan. He loves Face Hunter.
But
he loves Face Hunter.
Yes.
Don't let him fool you.
But I enjoy it.
He doesn't like Face Hunter.
I've been looking at this deck list, and I'm pretty excited to see it played. So, before we jump into that, does anybody have any last thoughts on this week's audio portion of the episode? Zerochio, we will start with you.
I just was so excited to watch Blizzcon on the virtual ticket. I'm really glad to have such wonderful podcast friends to actually have their feet on the ground and give us some great coverage, including our friend over at 1600 Dust, Spivey. Can't wait to get himself and the rest of the 1600 Dust crew on the show. We're working on that. But that's all I got. Soon TM.
Soon TM. All right.
That's all I got. Get ready for Mean Streets, guys, and have fun.
Yeah, Versika? I think you're muted.
Yeah, you're muted.
I was talking to mute, so that's how come you didn't hear that I was actually talking to the chat room saying that I've been playing this deck for about a week. So call it middle-age crisis, if you will. Traded in the mid-range for a sports car, I guess.
Oh, wow.
No, I know, right? No, actually, I was going to kind of echo Zeroshio's comments. We kind of live vicariously through all of the podcasters that we've kind of grown to love through listening to them, but getting a chance to talk to them over social media and getting to know everybody. And it was really fun to watch them get to experience BlizzCon because, I mean, other than Hearth Coach, I think we were the only other podcast that we are kind of in our active community that didn't have somebody represented at the show.
That's right.
Yeah, it was a lot of us watching you guys having fun and living vicariously through you, and that was much appreciated. Even though there was some apologies for the vomit of tweets, I enjoyed it. I mean, there were tweets everywhere, and I loved every second of it. So I'm glad that everybody had a good time. I think this was the best BlizzCon I've watched, and there really wasn't that much as far as like new expansions talked about. It was only Hearthstone that had an expansion that they talked about. So it was neat to see just them continuing to improve the existing IPs and their plans for the future. And I do have to say I was very sad, I guess a little homesick to not see Mets in there. It didn't seem right without
Very
him.
true. Very true.
Yeah.
But I guess that's the world we live in now, and we just got to get used to it. So,
Spivey, you have anything you want to add before we
No.
switch to gameplay?
I just want to tell you guys that, you can see me at BlizzCon next year and get a big old Spivey hug from me. All you got to do is be like, I'm from the internet, and I swear I won't freak out.
I do want to say that Spivey has given me the idea to put a mini fridge in my bathroom, and if you want to know more about that, you need to follow Spivey at Spiver. That's SPYVRR on Twitter. If you want to know more about that.
Yeah.
so
Hey,
speaking of that, real quick.
Shower beers are refreshing.
Speaking of that, real quick. No, if you haven't followed the 1600 Dust crew on Twitter, they're a great follow. If you haven't followed us on Twitter, then we're a pretty good follow as well, and you would have known that we were running a little late tonight. Sponsors.
Oh.
No, seriously
Viforce.
Seriously though, hopefully next year we'll be out there with you and share a Dos Equis, and we'll get this all buttoned up.
There you go.
Well, once I get all my DreamHack Atlanta stuff locked down, then my next focus will be try to budget for BlizzCon.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm convinced the next BlizzCon will just involve all the podcasters in a knife fight. So bring your blades.
Yes! Finally!
You just made a Bati's year.
I think
He is
that's the
going
most
to get
exciting
alone
we've
right
seen
now.
of Monty's yet.
Oh. All right. So, with that said, guys, if you are joining us on Twitch or YouTube, please stay tuned for the live play portion of our show. If you are listening via our audio podcast, we'd like to thank you for joining us at this time. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter at HeroPower_cast, and you can find all of our past episodes on YouTube at youtube.com/ECMMOgamers or on our website at HeroPowerHS.com. If you enjoy the show, you'd like to help to support and improve it, you can do so by joining our Patreon at patreon.com/HeroPower. And if you are a $5 patron, you will get an automatic entry to the Hero Power Hearthstone Invitational Tournament starting in January. Each event you participate in next year, we will have 3 of them, online events. Each one will earn you points. The top 8 points earners at the end of the year will compete in the Hero Power Championship Tournament. More information, check out our Patreon at patreon.com/HeroPower. As always, guys, we'll see you again next week.
And don't forget to use your hero power.
All right. While we get everything set up, Versika, tell us a little more about our sponsors at Viforce.
All right, so at the top of the show, I talked about if you were getting into streaming, to talk to Viforce about what kind of machine you would need, what you wanted to do, get all that taken care of. If you're not in I guess, the market or the mood for custom, and you're just wanting just to start, well, you want to start with the best. And the best right now, ViForce.gaming or ViForceGaming.com. Check out the products. Go down to the very bottom in the bottom right-hand corner. You look at the machine called the Impulse. Now, the Impulse will play all of Blizzard's games on ultra-high graphics, and you can stream them, and it will do it seamlessly. Let me just kind of repeat that. It will play all of Blizzard's games on ultra-high graphics and stream it seamlessly. So if you're going to get into it, you may as well get into it right. Start out with the Impulse. It starts at $1,300 before you make any customizations. But remember, you can finance that over 6 months. So check out ViForceGaming.com. If the Impulse is a little out of your price range, they have 2 other machines that will do streaming and play on high graphics. Check them out. If you don't see anything there you like, go to the Contact Us page. Send the guys at ViForce an email, and they'll hook you up with what they think you need to get started.
All right. Sounds good. Zeroshio, you're driving this week. Are you ready to rock and roll?
I'm ready. And I don't think we'd let Spivey in on it because we were running a little late. If you want to get in and spectate me, that's probably the best way to watch it.
Okay, I was wondering. That was the whole reason why I wasn't going to play, is I was worried about dropping the connection.
You could do that, or if you want to, no. If you want to just watch on Skype, you can do that too. If that's easier for you.
Oh no, it's great to do it this way. Let me just get on here.
I didn't mean to challenge you, sir. You had an eyeball for a second.
I thought it was somebody else.
He's
I was
already
like,
in there.
oh wait. All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and get in.
Yeah.
And
go ahead and get
you can hop in.
Spectate.
We'll let you know what the opening hand is here. And I'm sitting at, I think I'm rank 17 right now.
All right, so right on the cusp of rank 15 hell. I like it.
Yeah.
I kind of backslid. I've had a rough couple months, and I haven't been able to get as high as I normally do. I usually at least get up to 5.
All right. So our first opponent is a mage.
Okay.
Opening hand is Explosive Trap, Kill Command, Cat Trick, and Fiery Bat. So we are going second.
There's merit keeping Cat Trick here with coin, but I think with the Fiery Bat, I wanna ship all of it except for the bat. I'd rather redraw the Cat Trick. And Explosive Trap doesn't. It's only gonna wind up being damage here, and we want to find that Eagle Horn Bow instead.
Gotcha.
And then same deal with the Kill Command. There's an outside case made for Kill Command for a Flame Waker, but I would just take the Fiery Bat, look for the weapon.
Okay. Well, we got the Fiery Bat. We drew into it. Unleash the Hounds, Snake Trap, and Argent Horse Rider.
Perfect. Yeah, I got in the game. Oh, that's a great draw too.
Wow. Drew right into Kindly Grandma. Do we just go on curve and go with Fiery Bat?
You can, and there's also the play of Kindly, and then next turn playing Snake Trap, since we do have that kind of awkward secret, and that secret's not really going to be triggered so that you miss a charge on your Eagle Horn Bow if you don't draw it right away, which I kind of like.
So you want to coin out the Kindly then?
I think that's good. I think that really prevents him from using his hero power here.
Okay.
Or maybe maybe he does.
And that's just good tempo for us if he uses his hero power.
Exactly. And the only reason I'm doing that is because we have the 2-mana trap. That's kind of awkward. I wouldn't want to do that if I was running Snipe in this list, or if he had some other way to deal with that. But I think that playing the Snake Trap here and then just passing is great.
Snake Trap, go face.
Because you never feel good about playing Snake Trap. When you play it hard casted like that, but it's appropriate to go here. Because the Kindly Grandmother also holds him off of Arcane Missiles, and next turn it opens it up for us for Fiery and Quick Shot. Or
I was going to say, the trap may keep him from playing the Sorcerer's Apprentice too, because of the fear of Snipe.
Yeah, so he just played a Blackwing Technician with no dragon in hand. So
yeah, how weird.
Yeah, he showed his hand pretty much. Do we just go face and do we Argent now?
I think you have to deal with this technician, or it allows him to deal with your wolf that comes out of your kindly.
But if he
Next
does, he pops our snakes.
Oh, that's right, the snakes.
Right, but we still want to make that as hard on him as possible. And we to make it as awkward as possible, because I don't think he's got the hand to really.
So what about quick shotting it, fiery bat, and just going face?
I like that.
Yeah, I like that too.
Okay.
I mean, you could even just run the wolf into and get your own wolf in that case too, instead, if you wanted to. Because you have.
I guess it's about the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. Because he can't ping off the 3/2. I mean, that means he can ping off the fiery bat with nothing on the board, but then he's down to 2 mana.
Yeah, and he's also still missing a lot of information on what that secret is. He knows it's not snipe, but he hasn't attacked yet. Follow the curve out. I don't anticipate. Do you know if Dragon Mage is running Blizzard? I bet not.
That's still
I
2
think
turns out.
If they do,
Right.
they're only running a 1-of.
Yeah.
Right. Even though it's 2 turns out, I like to start thinking about the sweeper the turn before, if I want to commit to the board or not.
So we dropping the keeper and the Argent Horse Rider?
I think you hold the keeper. I think that's
Okay.
my personal preference. I think you look for the secret to avoid the Blizzard blowout.
So
And
Matt
I
at
think-
Arms in chat says this deck usually doesn't run Blizzard. It may run a Flame Striker too.
Okay, so if we can get some early damage in before 7.
I put in a Horse Rider and I went face with our 7 damage.
I
Put him
love
at
that.
22. He's gonna have to address this somehow.
See the dragon?
Oh, he does.
He's thrown
He's
into
got
the dragon.
Yeah.
2, 4, 10.
If he attacks in, he's gonna pop the secret.
So if we play, it's gonna. Yep. I mean, I think that Cloaked Huntress and Hero Power still continues to apply pressure on the board. We're kind of in a rough
Huntress Hero
spot.
Power?
I think so. I think you just go aggressive.
I think Huntress Hero Power is the play as well.
That's 6 more damage to face. We're pushing for pretty, maybe a turn 7 lethal if we can keep this pressure going
Yeah.
with Leroy Hero Power.
Yep. I'd like to see him load up the board. That'd make me real happy.
Yeah.
Unleash on him.
Yes, please.
I think he's really baffled by the secret. He doesn't know.
Oh,
there he
There's
goes.
the proc.
Oh, don't you dare Blizzard. I'm on pins and needles right now, you guys.
So he's fire blasting.
Okay.
Oh, hit the 5/1. Hit the 5.
And it hit
Oh, that's
face.
the face is not terrible.
And he
Well,
got
there's his
the
dragon.
taunt with it, but he has another dragon in his hand because it
Yep.
proc.
Yeah.
We got the
taunt.
tracking, and I'd really like to see if we can find a kill command.
Okay, so tracking.
Yeah. Let's see what kind
We'll get kill command.
What information
See?
we can get.
There it is.
That's
I
just
do
the way
that.
that's the way our
And
show
Eagle Hunt
works. Zeroshio calls it.
So which way
Yeah.
should we go?
Oh man, I think you have to take that kill command. That's
It's
too
threatens
good.
lethal now. I mean, not now, but for like next turn, doesn't it? Yeah.
It's damn close. And
So take the kill command.
yeah. And then you can kill command the 3/6, the
And run a
Twilight
snake
Guardian.
Yeah.
And then yep, exactly. I would do
Okay,
a
and then
snake.
1 snake,
Mm-hmm.
and then run the rest to face and hero power.
You
We
kill
don't
him.
need to kill the 5/1, right?
Yeah, kill the 5/1. This is where we were talking about where we want to make sure we further damage.
Okay. That way he can't take out the
Yeah.
2/1 easily.
hero power.
Right.
This also makes it less desirable to use a Blizzard or a Flame Strike.
Right.
Yeah.
And we have
If our
lethal.
Argent Horse Rider
If he
stays
doesn't kill-
on the board,
He doesn't kill anything.
oh, that looks good for us. Arcane Intellect.
Oh, I
Alice
love
has to
Babbling
ping
Book. He's
1/1.
Babbling Book is a great card. And we saw the power this weekend in the Pavel Amnesiac match.
Arcane Explosion.
Yeah, I was rooting.
Yeah.
I was rooting Pavel on the whole way after. I mean, after he took down my boy, I was like, there. You know, he's the obvious choice for me.
All right.
Why would the Arcade Explosion the 1/1 and not the 2/1?
It's a good question.
But that gives us lethal.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it. He must be new.
Leroy Jenkins. And there we go. That's how it's done.
Game
Too
1
easy.
in the books.
We usually try to pull at least a best of 3, and I'm on
Sure.
a win streak. I've been doing good with Control Warrior. So I ratcheted.
Yeah,
That's my least
chat
bet.
said that he killed the 1/1 because it was the beast, and he was worried about kill command.
Ah, okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That does make sense now that I think about it. Yeah. All right, game 2.
Our chat's awesome. They're really on the ball when it comes to calling us out.
Yeah, you guys have been great tonight. There's been as many as 15 of you guys in there. We really appreciate all the support. Even though I'm pretty sure we have quite a few in there for Spivey. But he
Spivey brought his entourage.
Who's got the
Ooh,
shower?
this is what we want to see. All right.
That's
we
okay. Our egos aren't so big that we can't take it.
We're against the rogue, and we have Unleash, Argent Squire, Secret Keeper, and Snake Trap. Do we just throw back the Unleash the Hounds?
I think there's a lot of removal. You got the backstab with Rogue. I think that Snake Trap kind of gets awkward. You're not going to see an attack into one of your guys for a while, because I don't even think a Rogue would double hit a Secret Keeper. I think you might want to consider dumping the Snake Trap and the Hounds.
Okay.
Just
Keeping
because
the
it's
Secret
Rogue.
Keeper?
Yeah, keeping the Secret Keeper and keeping the Argent Squire.
Okay.
What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I think that works.
It just feels so bad when you're waiting. There is the dream.
Yep, Eaglehorn Bow and
Just
Cloak
need the
Huntress.
secrets now.
Yeah, let's draw a secret or two.
Do we Argent Squire to bait out some
Removal.
removal?
Yes, 100%. Even with now we have
Just
two.
one though, right?
Just one, because we want to
Okay.
save that coin.
Yeah, the coin going in with, if we draw into a secret, we definitely want the coin.
Yeah, Kind Fish in chat says he loves 1600 Dust as well.
Oh, thank you, Kindfish.
Kindfish is awesome. Awesome supporter of our podcasts. All right. We drew into quick shot. That's not what quick shotting is it?
I mean, what do we want to save quick shot for?
SI is about the only one.
Yeah.
I mean, what about coining into the bow?
You could. I
Take
like
it out with the bow?
I really like hitting face with it, but this is one of those instances where if we bow the huckster, we get to further our future damage.
Okay, so coin bow into the huckster?
Yep.
Okay.
Seems solid.
And Rogue does a good job of putting some of our damage on themselves by using their dagger. So I expect at least a dagger shot to that Argent Squire at one point.
I agree.
Not this one, the other one.
Oh, there's the other huckster.
Wow.
Oh.
And he got
What a
tracking.
get. Wow.
Yeah, but I don't know that tracking is near as handy
In
in a
Rogue.
rogue deck.
I wish we knew what cards were tossed.
That's one thing I wish tracking showed you is what was tossed.
Mm-hmm.
I do like some of the new cards in Mean Streets of Gadgetistan that lets you see some of the stuff that's been.
Oh, I need to do another shout out. I missed a follow earlier. The Restov Ripper, thank you for, or the Rostov Ripper.
Oh.
Thank you for
Yeah.
the follow.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's Lance. He's a friend of
Oh,
mine.
cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Okay, so let's save the Cloaked Huntress and the Secret Keeper with the cat trick play, and let's just go ahead and Argent Squire Hero Power.
Argent Squire Hero Power and save our.
Or you
bow?
could quick shot. Yeah, save the bow. You could quick shot the 2/2
I like quick shotting.
because
But
you're gonna
if you-
take complete board control next turn.
Okay, I was gonna say that's very handy come SI agent time.
It is. It definitely is. There's
is the
merit
bow.
to both.
Okay,
So is the bow with the charges.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna
Okay.
quick shot the huckster and go face with the Argent and save our charge.
Okay.
And I agree with you, Versika. I really want to save that for the SI, but now that I know we're gonna get some charges on our bow, because Rogue is rather spell heavy and we have cat trick, I think that'll be useful with the bow to go ahead and take out the SI agent.
There's the dagger, like you called it.
He's going to
Oh,
take
it's
some
just-
ping damage.
Which thinking we're heading into a Harrison turn.
Oh.
All right, boys, you know what to do.
Okay, so Secret Keeper,
Mm-hmm.
Cloaked Huntress. Now, does the order matter for Explosive and Cat Trick?
It does not in this instance.
Because it's freezing and explosive that you want to worry about the order. So
Correct.
I'll do the Cat Trick first, then the explosive. He's going to have to use spells to remove something.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, I
then-
love that we just put Secret Keeper into combo eviscerate range and took her out of any of the 3 or 2 damage.
Right.
Yeah. Because if they eviscerate the 3/4, we get a 4/2.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And a new charge.
Yeah.
You are in a good spot.
They're trying to figure out what they want.
Shadow
Shadow Strike.
Strike.
That's fine.
Yep.
Say hello to our
We will
classic kitty.
trade a 3/4/4/4/2 all day.
I want
and
golden
3/4
cat.
Combo
hats.
into Eviscerate.
It's fine
Yep.
because we actually picked up an extra point of damage off that.
And kill off one of the squires. Oh,
Tracking
Yep, always.
since we have nothing else to do.
yeah.
Yeah, another cloaked huntress be great. What is that?
Leroy, Kindly, and Kill Command.
I like the Leroy because it's unconditional.
Mm.
Yep.
I mean, you're
Yeah,
mounted
we
into
don't
a
have to
taunt,
have a
but
beast.
Yeah,
the rogues
I think-
don't usually run the taunts.
And we'd be tossing away a beast to get kill command. So
Right.
yeah, Leroy. I like that. So face hero power?
Absolutely,
Think so,
and then
yeah.
with the weapon as well.
Yep.
Oh baby.
Let's see. We can't use the hero power with Leroy the next turn.
No. We
Close
have to
to.
wait. Yeah.
But yeah. We're really setting it up.
That's good.
Backstab. Yep.
Yep, that is.
Baited that out.
5, 6.
We shouldn't be leaving Leroy on the board.
No,
Dagger up, take a damage.
Yep.
that puts him at lethal again on turn 7 with
Yeah.
hero power.
Now, do we go to face with the dagger with our bow this turn?
No,
Yes.
because I want to say.
You
Oh,
want to save it?
well.
I say we absolutely go because if he's going to attack us, he's going to set off the explosive trap. Leroy with bow and hero power can't be done. So it's Leroy and bow. That puts him at 8. Hero power, or the trap will set him to 10, which puts him into.
Actually, I say we just go to face with our bow, hero power, and freezing trap, setting up lethal next turn.
Yep.
That's
I like
exactly
Does it.
And let's not give
Yeah.
them Leroy yet.
Right, you don't play Leroy here, but is there any reason to actually hit with the bow here and lose it? I mean, you're not expecting any taunts. I would personally hold the bow.
Any chance he might have a way to remove it? Harrison or Ooze?
I think if he had Harrison, it would have been a really good play for him last turn. I mean, he could have drawn into it after Fan of
Well,
Knives.
we're gonna do the freezing trap.
And we're going to do the hero power.
We're gonna do the
Yeah.
hero power.
Let's just save the bow. We'll chance it.
I would save the bow. If
Okay.
it winds up getting destroyed, that's on me.
My biggest concern was Ooze. See, okay.
Oh, yeah.
We got
nice.
him.
That's game.
Yeah, we got him.
Good job,
That's
boys.
Well played, gentlemen. Well
So
played.
Leroy. And
Too
exact
easy.
lethal. Oh, they gave up. Right before we could smack them in the face with our bow, which
All
I think
right.
is hilarious that you don't actually pull the bow and shoot anything. You smack them
Yeah.
upside the head with it.
Like that raunchy animation.
Yeah.
That was so good. I still love the one where it's Sorcerer's Apprentice and she points at the dead worm and she says, "I'm gonna be just like you."
I wanna shout out that during the opening ceremony they actually included clips of the raunchy animations.
Oh, yeah.
For
Oh, yeah.
I love that they're getting so much attention. I'm not sure if it's one person or a group, but whoever's responsible for raunchy, you're doing good work.
They do.
Yeah.
They do a great job. So
I
that
look
was-
forward to new episodes of Hearthstone.
with win and 2, are we gonna call it?
Yeah, we're 2
Oh,
and
yeah.
2.
Okay.
2 wins. That's it. We're good.
All right, good.
So, all right, guys, that's gonna about do it. Let's talk any anything you guys want to bring up now at this point before we close out the show, Zeroshio?
I just want to thank Spivey for coming on. I know he had a real busy schedule with BlizzCon, and it could have easily waited a couple weeks. We do have some things in the work to have them come on a future episode with the 1600 Dust crew. But he contacted me and said, hey, do you mind if I come on and talk about BlizzCon? I was like, yes, please join us. So thank you for coming.
All right. Spivey, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm honored you guys had me on tonight, and I had no doubts that we were going to gel and have a great time, and this didn't even, it just felt like we were hanging out and shooting the crap and playing some games, and this is a lot of fun, so thank you.
And we didn't even need shower beers.
That's right.
Shower beers.
Not shower beers.
Not that, well, never mind. That's another time.
That's Hero Power After Dark.
That's right. And I think our chat is asking where you're from. You're from Arizona, but where exactly in Arizona are you located?
Tucson, born and raised.
Tucson, born and raised.
Nice, nice.
Yeah,
All right,
I'm looking at packing up. I've got not that I want to talk about the job, but I've got a career here that I'm not really interested in being a part of anymore. So I'm going to do a big life change and move up to Washington State to be near Chris. I cried like a little baby when I dropped Chris off at the airport. I'm not going to even hide that.
That was the first time you all have met in person, right?
First time. Chris
That's
and I have been
cool.
podcasting. I think we just hit episode 92 or 91.
Wow.
And never met in person.
Congratulations.
And, thank you. We're actually set up for episode 100 on New Year's Eve.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
That's going to be
bringing
awesome.
it in.
Yeah.
Episode.
How are you going to hold that to 20 minutes?
You know what? We're kicking around some ideas, and I guess Chris is my handler, so he might kind of be a little bit pissed that I brought this up, but maybe it won't be 20 minutes.
Oh,
Nice.
Oh.
You heard it here
Bonus footage.
first. Yeah. So, all right, Versika, you got any last minute thoughts?
As far as the deck goes, of course, I made one switch. I actually changed out the snake track for a snipe because I was struggling to handle Azure Drakes. So I started trying to get the snipe out to handle Azure Drake turns. It works out all right. And I just want to thank Spivey for coming on the show. We've back and forth Twitter for a while, so it was cool to have you on and get to actually talk Hearthstone with you in real time. And yeah, can't wait for the episode where we have all you guys on. I think it's going to be a blast. We always have fun doing those episodes, and as the more we get involved in the community and the more people that we meet and talk with on a daily basis, the more excited I get for those episodes where we get to bring two groups together, and it's just I love
a knife fight.
Yep, right.
Oh, you keep bringing that up. All right, guys. That's going to do it for us this week. Again, thanks to Spivey for joining us, and we look forward to having the rest of the 1600 Dust crew on in a future episode. If you guys have any questions or comments about the show, please send them to us. Email us at heropowerpodcast@gmail.com. Do us a favor if you haven't done so already. Hit that subscribe button below on YouTube, or give us a follow on Twitch to be alerted when we go live. For more details on our upcoming tournament, check out patreon.com/heropower. And as always, guys, good gaming.